Big hello to you hobby horn dogs out there. Rodge here. I'm back once again. So as part of this here paint challenge, it turns out I'm going to have to paint a few models. It's not to be unexpected. So to facilitate that, I kind of broken it down in chunks as far as what I want to do based off different events and stuff that I'm attending. So first things first, which is my Saga models. So I'm doing like kind of Anglo-Saxons, Anglo Danes. It's changed a little bit. Both those factions are pretty similar, so I can use them for both. So I'm going to get those boys done for the Grand Melee at Adepticon. So we're going to take a look at what I've done so far and where I need to go with those guys. And then also kind of want to show you how I paint some of these models. So I'm going to show you kind of how I did the chainmail on some of them to a pretty good, pretty high standard. And then once we take a look at that, we can come back and we can chat a little bit about what else my sorry ass needs to do and how I'm planning to bust these babies out. So let's check that out. Hey, horn dogs, you're looking at the very first models that I've completed for the 100% paint challenge. So these are for use in the game Saga, which is really awesome. And these are Anglo-Saxons, so kind of like the Dark Ages English folk. And I got 6 spearmen and 2 kind of armored warrior guys up front. Only one of them is completely finished. I'm just waiting to base the rest of them all in one big group. So I'm doing them to a pretty high standard. Is it going to focus here? Maybe, maybe not. And they're turning out pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with them. The goal is to get them done by Adepticon, which is these 25 more models, 10 more spearmen, 10 more armored guys. I've got a warlord, a priest, and then 3 baggage markers. So the baggage markers, I didn't really want to do wagons or animals or anything like that. So these are gripping beast monk models. I got them in a pack of 12. I don't know if there's actual Saga rules for them, but I just glued it random chest I had to each base. So they're kind of crazy guys defending it. The priest, this is a Dark Sword Miniatures model. This is Samwell Tarly from their A Song of Ice and Fire line, and I just converted them to have a big cross there. This is a converted Mears Miniatures model. I gave him that big axe right there over his shoulder. The Anglo Danes, their warlords have huge axes, and they're badass. So this is a conversion of a Mears Miniatures model. I think Kjartan is what he's called. And then these are Wargames Factory models. The poses were heavily converted to get them like that. I could have either done underhand spears or overhand. I kind of like the overhand ones. So I think there was maybe 2 arms that were compatible with overhand, and then the rest I kind of had to do green stuff work or break them apart. The armored guys, I worked in some gripping beast plastic heads from their kit. The kits are pretty cool. The Wargames Factory ones are, to be honest, they're a lot shittier. The detail's worse. It's really shallow details on the legs. I do like the proportions. They're more realistic. And like the spears and stuff are a lot skinnier. Where this axe came from a gripping beast plastic box set. So you can see that the shaft of the axe is a little thicker than this. So this is a little bit more realistic scale. But the quality of the gripping beast plastics they seem to be a lot better. The detail was more crisp and defined. The proportions were a little different. They're shorter than these guys. And then they also, some of the proportions are, they're just chunkier with thicker arms, thicker hands, kind of more, I don't know, fantastical miniature sculpts like that. So these are my Anglo Danes. Now originally they're going to be Anglo-Saxons, which was a horde army, and these are the remaining ones I have to do. I do have the warlord model, which I'll show you some other time. I don't have it out here right now, but I have an Anglo-Saxon warlord, which just like a hand weapon and shield. So these guys will bulk out the Anglo-Saxon force. So this is for Adepticon, and then this is for our Saga campaign, which there'll probably be a few videos kind of showing how we're doing on that. And these guys will be wrapped up hopefully then by June. And at that time, I will be good to go on my Saga stuff. I do have a set of Vikings that I had my Nerd Apprentice assemble for me, and I'm not sure if I'm going to paint those or I'm going to try to give those away as far as the paint challenge goes, but I might reconsider before the end of the year. But the goal right now, finish these guys in the next probably like 8 or 9 days I think I have for these, and then another month or two for those bros. So what we're going to take a look at now is the chainmail on these guys. So you can see it's done to a pretty high standard. Yeah, so you can take a look at that. So I'm going to show you how I did that. So if you don't know how to dry brush, this is probably a pretty good way to get started. Stuff like chainmail and hair and stuff like that. So you'll be able to see how much paint to put on the brush and kind of what I did afterwards with some washes to tie it all together. I got a first dirty Saxon here. Model's all right. Got a Gripping Beast plastic hat on him. Gave him a green stuff. Little scarf there to impress the boys. So he's been base coated already on basically the helmet and his body. This shit right here, my 09136 walnut brown. It's neither walnut nor brown. You can see it's dark gray. What we're going to need is some of these metals, lead belcher, iron breaker, and a little creamy ivory. Any kind of off-white thing will do. I might even, if I'm feeling saucy, might go all the way white. But pretty much get these guys to kind of pop. I'm going to do some stark highlights and then go back with some inks. And it's mostly just going to be dry brushing. Using this little guy right here. Army painter. Small dry brush. I don't know where I got this. Works all right. Sure. Any kind of shitty brush will do. Alright. Let me get jumping to that belcher out. Let me shake it up. Let me shake that shit up. Alright, gonna gop it up. Way down a bit on my little thingy here. That's still too thick. Basically, I got a little side piece of paper. I'm just gonna rub it till there's like nothing. Till it feels like there's nothing left on the brush. Till it's like jack shit. And sometimes you get a little paint things there, so it doesn't look like anything's coming off. So that is about the right amount. You can see it's going on pretty fabulously there. And I'm just getting it all over. Just want to get a nice layer. Now these models, the chainmail is actually all right, but it doesn't, there's like weird spots where it doesn't quite connect, or the scales are weird, but we're just going to do our best. See, like underneath the arm here. Oh, we got a mode line. Everybody, there's a mode line. Oh boy. So I'm going to, I know I'm going to regret it later. I'm just going to scrape that off right now with a knife. And I'm going to go over it with some washes later, so we might be able to get away with not going back to base coat it, but I'm sure it'll come back to haunt me in my dreams. Looks interesting on the camera. Okay. This one I got a nice covering of everything. And let's get up to the helmet. So, if you're doing wider areas, you really want like nothing left on that brush. And you'll get some pretty good results. Looks like dookie. Okay, so nice and even. Kind of dark on the helmet, that's fine. I'm not going to bother with the axe. I might do something later when I'm finishing the model, but you can see the skins painted and that weapon shaft and then the axe. Those are to hit the 3-color minimum for Wapaka, just in case I want to throw them on the table and not lose any points for my team. I just got some color there. Okay. Looks alright. Looks decent. Let's get whatever this other shit is. Arm breaker. I'm gonna break some arm. Shake it up a little more. Shake it. Shake it. Oh yeah, that's silky. Look at that silky smooth. Okay. It's a little bit brighter. It's not even going to make a fucking difference probably, but we'll go to this before we even do anything so you can see. Like till there's barely anything left. And then I'm just going to kind of try to hit more of the upper areas where I think the highlights are going to be. So it's a little bit better. You know, you can see kind of like a little ridge forming there. So there's a little detail we can work with. Oh yeah, look at that little bum. Get that bum nice and shiny. Shine up that bum. Let's work on the helmet. So I'm going to concentrate on coming from the top down with this color. And shiny. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, let's give it one more. Actually, well, just a little of that arm breaker with a little bit of this shit here. That creamy ivory. Give me that creamy ivory deal. Now it's gonna eliminate the metallicness of this, but I don't really give much of their shit. Once it's varnished, if you don't go back and do a gloss or something, metallics are going to be pretty flat anyways. So we're going to go as... No, that is light. That is light, my man. Okay, same as before. You want nothing left. And we are gonna spread. It's kind of got a different color to it. We're just gonna hit the top areas mainly. Get that butt. And then just the top again, even more so. Let me get that nose a bit. Alrighty. It's looking alright. In the camera, this is not going to look that good, but alright. Now, there we go. As wide as we can get with all the metallic gunk kind of still in the brush. Bring it down. So this is kind of overkill maybe. Models this big. But I'm really trying to get some contrast in the chainmail. Because I'm doing the rest of the model to a pretty high standard. So if the chainmail looks blah, it's going to bring the whole thing down. Alright, looking alright. Let's get the tip of that hammer. Get in there. Okay, that's good. That's pretty good. Now I'm going to go back and do some washes. So, like the ag racks, some brown, and then I like how dark the Dragonhof is. So I like to mix the two brush. Number 2, Rosemary. This is a Workbench Warriors brush from their brush set. So I've been liking them. Right, get that brown. So I got a little brown. Should I use some Lamian? I'll get some Lamian going. This good shit here. Just to dilute it a bit. Okay, so there's a couple. We get around here, darken that up. Looks like I got too much. I can always go on with my fingers. Okay, underneath, there's pits there. On the lower side of the sleeves, kind of the underside of the sleeves. And then underneath there's pits over here. And then there's that
kind of line right there. I get a little bit going. And then kind of right there. I want even less on my brush, see if I can kind of extend that up a bit. So you can see if you have a nice model to work with that does have these contours, you can do some nice shit. So we go around the shoulders. And then I'm just going to go around up here. Okay. Down by its hip, I'm going to kind of shade this side down here. And then kind of do gradient. You know, it's shiniest on that side and then kind of dark over there. So on the back sides of these look pretty good. On the front, it's a little crazier. There really isn't. It's just kind of flat, so it's tough to get like a really nice fade effect. I'm kind of gonna go right here, maybe. Underneath the belly, and then along the belt line there, we're going to darken it. Kind of go around the edges too. So, it's still a little shiny, but you can kind of see gradients there. On the helmet, you can do the same shit. Kind of go for the cracks. I'm going to try to get these 4 plates a little darker than these cross pieces. So those things pop a little bit more compared to the rest. So let's get a little bit on there. So it looks pretty good. I'm going to take it down just a little bit more with the Drakenhof, which I like using instead of black wash. The Drakenhof is really dark, but it's not completely black. It is really strong. So I like to mix it with the earth shade. And I'm just going to go back and kind of accentuate what we already did. Do these shoulder bits. Come around here. Look at that. This guy is going to be the envy of all his bros. Actually not, his buddies will be looking just as good. Okay, so I need to really darken this up to cover up that mold line issue. Can't really see because of reflection, but well, it's actually covering up nicely. But the model, just not that great. It's just not that great. Oh yeah. Coming together. Look at that. looks good from the back. Let's get the underside of these sleeves. And a layer on the bottom of the helmet there. Really set off some contrast. And that's pretty much it. This guy's good to go. Let's compare him as far as, yeah, they're highlighted to about the same level. Some of them are a little bit whiter maybe, but no, it looks pretty good. And if they are a little different, that's fine too. Looking decent. Alright. That is chainmail dry-brushing. So you use the same thing. Beards, hair, usually with hair, I don't really give a shit enough to do a high job. Do a good job. Now I tried dry brushing the leg things on these guys, but the detail's so shallow, it's really tough to get a good look. Looks like we got more mold on there. I'm going to take care of that. And I'm going to work on the rest of these Saxons here so we can get a good look at them when they are done. All right, very cool. Hope that was helpful. Gave you some ideas. Pretty much every different army that I build, I do the metals a little differently, and it kind of just depends on how I'm feeling, the different methods that I use. So hope you found that useful. Let's chat a little bit about those guys. So I'm going to get about half of them done for Adepticon, and then we have our SAGA campaign going on, which there's probably going to be a video or two about that coming along the way here. And that wraps up about June, maybe first week of June. So I want to get the rest of them done by then. And then in between that, though, after Adepticon, there's an Infinity ITS in the Twin Cities, and I want to get my panos ready to go for that. So they're about half done maybe. I got 4 that are done to a pretty high standard. 3 of those need to be based, and then I've got the rest of them have 3-color base coat. They're basically started. So I got to do the washes and then highlight them and everything else, and that's including a tag. So there's not too many, but I just don't know how long that tag's going to take because he's kind of big and there's like 1 million panels, and I don't know what I'm going to do with that guy. So I'm hoping maybe there's a small chance, not really, of finishing these Saxons before Acon, and I could start on them maybe. But it's looking like the 3 weeks after Adepticon, I want to push and try to get these 5 or 6 Infinity models done. And I've been doing them to a pretty high standard for me, probably as good as I can actually do. So I'm going to push. I think before I was able to do 1 a week. So it looks like I'm going to have to do 2 a week, and then one of them's that cutter tag. So hopefully I'm able to do that. After that, I really don't know. I got a lot of Age of Sigmar, Warhammer shit, Chaos Dwarf, Skaven. I'm not planning to attend anything. I'm not really even that pumped for any of that, but I kind of want to work on them. So, am I going to feel the same motivation if there's no event? I'm not sure, but I'm going to figure it out. Me and my wife expecting a baby boy in July, so I'm going to have a lot of time off, but there's going to be a lot of baby time, so I just don't know if that's going to give me more time to paint, probably less, whatever. Hopefully he's healthy and sleeps a lot, and I can paint some models in between, but I really don't know. But that's the plan so far. The other thing I've been thinking about is I have a lot of random models, and potentially I've been trying to keep track of like online painting competitions for blogs and websites and crap like that. So if you know any of those coming up, maybe in the next few months here, I'd be keen to try to participate in some of those. I'm looking for any kind of extra motivation besides the paint challenge to every leverage, every point of leverage I can use to get through this. So if anybody knows anything like that, let me know, because I want to
do as much stuff as I can. I got a lot of random models, so I think that would be good for doing those. So other than that, like, subscribe to this shit. Join the Hobby Horn Dogs today, my man.